let's just say McDonald's came out, and then there was like some other burger joint that was like, well, there's already McDonald's and Burger King. I'm not gonna open up my spot.
Right.
No, I don't think they did that. They still went forward with it, and they have some type of success. Maybe it's not like McDonald's or whatever. This is a global chain that's all over the place. But at the same time, they have their own spot. They're creating burgers, and they're being successful. They're successful. You know, they got burgers, fries, whatever. But they have their own success, and they're probably very happy that they still went ahead and did it.
Man, that is deep, Dorsey. They got the exact same menu.
The exact same menu.
But you bring Dorsey to the table.
Exactly, man.
You'll be unique. You trying to be like him. You must be mystique. So
Hello, family. Today we have a special guest to discuss a special book. 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life by Mark Recloud. This book is overflowing with concepts and powerful habits that will truly change our lives. 94 chapters. Each one causing you to look at the landscape of your own life. Each one challenging us to improve the person we meet in the mirror. What better person to dive into this phenomenal book than our special guest? A phenomenal man. A man who has challenged me to be better than myself since the day I met him. Donald Dorsey. My Aggie brother, and president and CEO of Cleats Athletics. So sit back, sit tight, and huddle. Welcome back to the Huddle, people. I got an amazing friend of mine from way back. He went to A&T with me. If you look behind him, you can see that jersey. We went out to California and played together when I first got to A&T. He's one of my good friends, old teammate, Donald Dorsey. Donald has been a leader to me. When I stepped on A&T's campus, he was a year older than me. And he really showed how it was supposed to be done. And he continued that through the ups and downs. And we had a lot of downs at A&T, man. But Donald stayed straight ahead. Even when he didn't get a chance to play, he stayed focused, and that got him back on the field. So that's the type of person I have today. I want to let him introduce you a little bit about himself. Let him know what he's been doing, what he went through, and where he is now. Let him know, Dorsey.
All right, man. Well, look, I really appreciate that great introduction from my brother Wallace. And just to give you a little bit about myself, ladies and gentlemen, as Wallace stated, we both played together at A&T. I was on the defensive side of the ball, and of course, Wallace was on the offensive side. But I came in, I believe, a year before you, right, Wallace?
Yeah.
So a year before, I came in 2006. I'm from Louisiana. A&T granted me the opportunity to get a full scholarship, so I decided, why not get my education paid for, So I took exactly, right? I took that leap of faith. And then my mom as well, she was just like, look, you got two options. You going to college or you going to the military. I don't care how you do it.
Pick one. You're not sitting around here.
You ain't sitting around here. So I was like, dang, man, I'm going 13 hours away from home. And, I decided to go to North Carolina A&T. Didn't really know much about the MEAC because being from the South, there's more about the SWAC, Jackson State, Southern University, Grambling, and things of that nature. So This is completely new to me. I just took a leap of faith. I want to just kind of create my own path, do my own journey and things of that nature. So I went up there as a free safety. I was blessed to play all 5 years. And like Wallace said, man, we went through some challenges. We went through some challenges.
Up and down and down and down.
Oh my goodness, man. Man, we could talk about that all day, man. We glimpse of light, and then it just got dark again. And then, you really, your mental focus and your determination was really tested, man. Because lots of players, when you go to the Division I level, you've either you've had the experience winning, or you came from a winning program. That's how you get a scholarship, right?
Yeah.
Man, we went through, I think I probably went through maybe 5 or 6 defensive coordinators, 3 position coaches, 3 different head coaches. It was a lot of
had to learn how to thrive and change, huh?
Man, yeah, you have to change, you have to adapt, you have to reprove yourself. It really showed who could persevere. Perseverance was really the key through those 5 years.
Yeah.
But now, I didn't get the opportunity to go to the next level as you did, Wallace, which was fantastic. I think a lot of us was living through you during that time. But I going into my senior year, I just really wanted to focus on my education and what I could do next outside of sports. So, I just got that business degree.
Yeah.
And I started looking for opportunities, and it was tough, man, because everybody was, in my mind, I was like, okay, you get a college degree, you make good grades. I was an athlete, someone's gonna be just laying out for me. It's
Exactly. It's
gonna be
supposed to be
waiting on me.
easy.
It's supposed to be easy. They don't tell you that. Well, it is not
No.
easy. It
Real
is
life
not
it.
easy. Real life is different, man. And then if you're an athlete your whole life, man, you just you feel kind of stuck because as an athlete, your path is kind of through going through school. Your
Yeah.
path is already lined up for it. You're like,
Structure.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
going. It's structured. I'm going to the next grade. I want to get this many yards. I want to make this many plays. I want to make the all-star game. I want to get a
Right.
scholarship. It's structured for you.
Yeah.
When you get into the real world, that structure is not there no
It's
more.
wide open, man.
It's wide open.
A
And then
million
and
different
then you
directions.
talking about like million different directions, bro. And then like when you are an athlete at a Division I school or even in high school, you're just doing these great things. Everybody's in your corner. Everybody knows you. Everybody's willing to help you. When you graduate, that starts to trickle off.
Nobody knows you anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did in my professional career, but currently, just to fast forward right now, I'm I work for IBM. I'm a digital sales representative. I've been with IBM since August, and when COVID hit, I lost my previous job, which was I was with the Enterprise Rental Car for 8 years, and that was another something else we can definitely talk about,
Yeah.
which was that's a whole story in itself. But I
Extremely
ended up
timely
with
though.
very timely, man, very
Yeah.
timely, huge commitment. But currently with IBM, I do digital sales. I work from home, and I've been doing it since August, and I'm enjoying it. And with my sales background and my customer service background, just being an athlete, being competitive, and always willing to learn, it's definitely paying off for the company. So that's where I'm
It's
at right
funny.
now.
I just put out a post, and it's something that Coach Lee used to say all the time. A
What
minor
was
setback is a setup for a major
a
comeback.
major
And that's
comeback,
exactly
boy?
what just hit you, man. Getting
Yeah,
let go in
yeah, man.
enterprise. And you had put in what, 8 years in
8 years,
enterprise? 8 years in
8 years,
enterprise,
bro.
and they let you go. But that setback
Yeah,
was a setup for this opportunity right now.
major comeback. Yes, indeed, bro. And then on top of that, just speaking of that, just before we get into everything else. So when I was let go with Enterprise, I had some time to reflect and think about, okay, what's my next step? So I actually was able to get into coaching,
Yeah.
which that's a huge blessing because that's something I always wanted to do. How can I influence the youth? And I'm able to influence them through sports. Being a mentor and develop them on the field is
Yeah.
like huge for me. So I'm doing that. And we just started spring ball. So I'm coaching sixth graders for Hillgrove currently. And I
Ooh,
also started, yeah, I know, right? Hey man, I gotta get you out there, bro, to help these
I'm
receivers.
with it, man. You know,
I need to get you out there to work these receivers, man.
we
They will
don't
love
learn all that stuff and go through it all to hold it in for forever. So I'm down to share
man,
it, man.
they will love you. I really feel like if I brought you out there, they will definitely try to put you on the coaching staff like ASAP.
Hey, man.
So and then I also started my personal my mentor and training speed and agility business,
Yeah,
Case
speak about
Athletics.
that. Yeah, case.
Yeah, so Case, that's my thing. That's my business that I started. I started Case believe in February is when I officially started it.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm still in the process of just going through a couple of trials and just kind of tweaking some things. But CASE Athletics, what it stands for, CASE of course is an acronym for compete, achieve, succeed in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Wallace, you already know how compete, achieve, succeed in everything. That speaks directly to the type of people we are, right?
Yeah.
Like in every single thing that we do, we want to be great at it, and not just on the field, but off the field. And you talking about success and achieving, setting goals and achieving them, whether they're small or large. Getting in the process and the habit, training your mind to just set goals,
Mm-hmm.
especially outside of sports,
Right.
and set goals in your sport, outside of sports. And when you achieve those goals, you're successful. You don't even know it, but every time you achieve a small goal, you're leading up to larger success.
I don't think
So
people realize how big of a foundation those small wins, achieving those small goals, because you had
man,
to work to achieve those goals, but that's a foundation for when I try to set a goal in the future that might be bigger and work toward it.
exactly,
You're setting
exactly,
foundations. That's huge.
exactly, huge, man. So you some people got these big dreams and aspirations, which is great, and they got this huge goal,
Right.
this huge outcome they want. but it takes small steps, and those small steps you work on every day they're gonna lead to that large goal. So
Exactly.
if you train your mind, if you get in the habit of setting goals and just accomplishing them,
Yeah.
then eventually that larger goal you're gonna reach it. But if you don't
Eventually,
do
yep.
that, if you don't set small goals, if you just have one goal, it's gonna be very difficult. You might give up half the way because you're not getting small wins.
And what people also I feel like they don't see is like the lessons that are gonna help you achieve, the skills that are gonna help you achieve that big goal. You learn them in the small goals, the short
Yep,
term, the things that take time. You learn that in the grind, in the failure. You learn
exactly.
those skills that's gonna help you get to that major goal. But a lot of people don't want to spend that time or go through that grind to learn
Nope,
those skills, because that's what you're doing,
nope.
man. They don't realize failure is
Yep.
amazing. As much as bad
Failure
as it
and
feels, failure is
exactly, it's
amazing.
amazing, and and you have I know because you do your quotes, and one of your quotes was I believe you learn. I think it was something about learning from your failures. Learn from your failures is like like a key to success or something like that.
Yeah,
But I know in this book that we're about to talk about, they talk about that. You know, you like your failures, how you respond to your failures is really how you're gonna build up on it in your life. You know,
exactly. And
your response and your attitude.
let's use that as the segue to jump into the book, because it
Yeah,
is, man, it is so thick with facts and lessons and
right,
man, honestly, when I looked at the cover, I'm like, 30 days, change your habits, change your life. All right, cool. He gonna give me this lesson plan for 30 days to change my habits. Man, as soon
right,
as I opened up that book, everything changed, man. I
right,
mean,
right.
I think he put 30 days on there just to get your attention, because this right here is
Yeah,
30 years of
right,
knowledge, man. I mean,
right,
it's so thick with information. It's so thick with lessons that we all need to put into our daily habits. And it's not gonna happen overnight, but
right.
he puts it all. I'm not gonna call it the Bible, but it's the holy grail of
Boy,
habit building. This
foundation, man. It's
is
literally it
so
can build
deep.
your foundation. Like this book can really start your foundation
It is,
when it.
and it's by Mark Reclau.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's so many topics and lessons. I had to just pick 8. You know, I love that
Right.
number 8. I had to
Oh,
just
of
pick
course,
8.
of
So
course. Yeah.
I want to dive into the first one. And I picked them randomly because everyone
Yeah.
in that book can hit hard, hit home for somebody. But
Mhm.
it's funny how this first one came to us, because in sports you have to be disciplined and you got to make a
Yeah.
commitment.
Mhm.
Each one of these chapters, he goes in, he starts off with a quote, and I'm gonna say this quote from the chapter about self-discipline and commitment. It was
Mhm.
character that got us out the bed. It was commitment that moved us into action, and discipline that enabled us to follow through. And that's by Zig Ziglar. How
Mhm.
has self-discipline and commitment um, shown itself and helped you in your life, in sports and in your real world, and as a father?
Okay. Right, boy. Yeah, man. So, what I always so I'm gonna just share the story. When I was playing football, and you had in your introduction, you kind of talked about it.
Yeah,
Like I went through a lot of ups and downs. Like I went through a time where, and when you first, like I got recruited, got a scholarship. I first got there, I was on the pedestal.
yeah.
I actually started my freshman year. Like I was in the mix and everything. And then my second year, I ended up redshirting, which I was completely unaware of.
That is
I didn't
rare.
yeah,
That's
I didn't even
the
know
second
I didn't
year
even know
red
that was
shirt.
second year
Yeah,
after I played and got
right.
the experience. I prepared my mind mentally and my body physically to come back bigger, stronger, faster. And I'm ready because I went
Yeah,
through everything my first year. So I redshirted my second year, which that mentally that was, I mean, you having to set out a whole year unexpectedly, you're training to play is so difficult for an athlete, someone who
yeah,
wants to contribute. So you're talking about self-discipline, just continue to work out as I was playing,
right.
as if I was playing.
Hmm.
Continue to take in all the information as if I was a starter or playing or just being out there with the team. Because easily you could, you know, after the coach says you're not playing, I could check out. I
Yeah,
could be like, man, look, I'm not playing
it's
anyway, so
real
I'm about to
easy.
just,
You can
I'm gonna
slack
take
off.
off on. man, you can slack off, you can not show up for the meetings, you cannot participate
Yeah.
for a full year. That
Right.
is difficult, man. That's difficult. And I'm not injured, I'm healthy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I could do everything. So you talking about mental, the discipline and the motivation. I saw the bigger picture. I saw that, I'm gonna use this year to get better, to get stronger, to mentally prepare for the following season. But not only that, let me just help my guys, my
Yeah.
teammates get better.
Yeah.
Let me help them study. Let me at practice. I know I'm not starting. Let me go hard to give them a look, so we can
Yeah.
prepare because we're a team. So I'm preparing, and the next year I actually get my shot. I'm back in the rotation, and things are going well. And then I think like midway through the season or something, man. I stopped getting playing. It
Yeah.
was confusing to me, and my teammates, they were asking, because I was one of the leaders. I had a lot of
Exactly.
experience from my freshman year. I consider myself a leader on and off the field. I was going to do the right things off the field with grades, and I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm trying to, follow what the coaches are saying. I'm trying to
Right.
also encourage and motivate the younger guys. Like, hey guys, y'all having fun? But look, we got workouts in the morning. We need to, you guys need to make sure you turn in your work. Like,
And I
don't.
remember Dorsey saying that, man. Dorsey be like, "Look,
Yeah,
yo, we gotta work out tomorrow. We can't
yeah,
do all this extra stuff."
right. All this extra stuff you guys doing, y'all want to go out, y'all trying to figure out where we going. Look, we
Right.
gotta get ready for tomorrow. Like you guys,
Yeah.
So that was my mindset. I was always just trying to be ready, man. I was trying to take full advantage of the moment that we're in because I knew it would be over, in a few
Yeah.
years. So let's do this. And yeah, man. So I got to a point where I wasn't playing, man. It was really frustrating for me, but all the work that I put in, and it almost put me. I'm not gonna say depressed, but I was down, man. Like my motivation started going down. I
Yeah.
mean, I was calling home, like, man, you know, I done came 13, 14 hours away to go through this difficult time. We losing. I'm not playing. I'm
That
doing
that really
everything,
sucks. Like I can't
man,
I can't
bro.
help the team and we losing.
And we
Man,
losing. And I'm doing everything right, man. I'm not
everything
going
right.
to the club.
Right.
I'm making good grades. I'm not getting in trouble. Like y'all don't
Yeah.
even have to worry about me. I can literally. I'm being responsible. All you gotta do is just help me with what we need to do on the field.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta worry about Dorsey off the field. He gonna do the right thing. He's gonna make sure he's healthy. He's gonna make sure everything. And bro, it was so disturbing. Like I wanted to transfer, and I talked to a couple people, man. I
You weren't
called.
the only one, bro.
I want
You weren't the only one.
all the transfer, bro. And I'm big on like brotherhood, man. Like I was like, man, I can't let my boys down. So that also provided me with the strength, looking at my guys going through the grind, fighting every day. You was there at this time, this third year. So this was your second year. You was grinding. And I just see like I'm looking at the future. I'm like, man, maybe we're just going through this, and then it's gonna open up. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
There's something, we missing something. So bro, I just kept working. I kept working, and then somebody told me, and it was my father-in-law, and I told him what I was going through, and he was like, "Look, man, you keep working because cream always rises to the top." I remember it was just that simple little phrase he
Yeah.
said. He said, "The cream will rise to the top. The
It's
cream will
funny
rise
how
to
it's
the
funny how we
top."
hear something over and over and over and out loud, but it take the right person, the right time for it to really connect to you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I heard it before, but he
Yeah.
said it during that time, and it just made me. And I was like, okay, let me keep being on time. Let me keep doing what the coach is asking. Let me just keep going, keep going. And next thing you know, man, going into the next season, I'm starting again. So
Yeah.
it just shows you, man, like you go through your adversity, but as long as you stay focused, stay grounded, uh, sometimes it doesn't happen right when you want it to.
Right.
But if you keep going, man, it will. If you keep going, you keep believing that you're doing the right things. Don't cut the corners, and just stay highly motivated, like you were saying, like the book was saying. Your motivation, your determination to get up every morning, to go to the gym, to do whatever you got to do. You will eventually get
Rise
to
to the
where you
top.
need it. You're gonna rise
Yep.
to the top, man.
Yep.
It's simple as that. You're gonna rise to the top. So
And see, in that moment, it's phenomenal that you were able to stay disciplined and put in the work. But talk about what that did for you growing out of school. Like you've already
yeah,
ingrained that foundation that it may not be going right now. But if I
yep,
continue to do the right thing, if I continue to work hard, if I continue to show up, I'm gonna rise. I feel
yep,
like I feel like especially you, can talk to that in the
bro.
real world.
Bro, so man, so let's go right to my first. So when I got out of college, I was looking for I was a business management major, and again, I felt like I should have been a hot commodity when it comes to hires.
Right,
I
right.
mean, with my athletic background, I mean, I was an honor student. I didn't have no rinky dink major. I was business management, which I feel like engineering is up there. I feel like business is like right
Right
under
under
there
there.
with all the projects and presentations to study the
It's so
economics, the
many
math,
facets of it, yeah, that you got to be on top of.
and you're doing this while you playing a Division 1 sport.
Man,
Like people don't understand.
no.
They don't understand. So I mean, the time that you put in, that work. So I feel like it was gonna be easy for me to get a job. I thought
Right.
but
Yeah.
bro, when I say it was so hard, man. It was so hard. So my first gig, I want to just say my first sales opportunity. Bro, I did door-to-door sales. A lot of people don't know that.
Man, that is tough.
I did
That is
door-to-door sales,
tough to,
bro.
bro. That's I I heard somebody recently say that baseball is a high failure sport. That is a high failure career. To,
Absolutely.
to go in and know that you're gonna get told no 95% of the time and still show up with the
95.
same energy to try to get the sale, like that is crazy to me.
You knocking on people's doors randomly in the neighborhood, and you're literally you're doing a cold, like a blind sale, really.
Yeah,
It's a blind sale. Like they don't know you coming or nothing. You knocking on that door trying to offer someone something in the middle of their day.
you got to
And
create a
it's
relationship in a split second.
split second. Somehow
Yeah,
you gotta do it. And then man, that was trying.
yeah,
So, I took it as an opportunity at first, to really build my confidence. I mean, anytime you do sales like that, it's hard, man.
yeah.
It's hard. But I took it as okay, let me see how this is gonna work. This is my first job out of school. And I knew that wasn't gonna be my career because in my mind, I was not, I need a career, and you can't build a career out of that. So I want a career. I want, long term stability. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I got out. I was kept looking for opportunities, and still was difficult. So I ended up doing car sales. So my next job was even another
Sales
difficult
job.
sales
Yeah.
job and hard sales. This is this is like basically you eat what you kill. So
Yeah.
it's not like you got some type of revenue stream coming in and then you got a commission on top of that. It's literally whatever you do, that's what you make.
That's what you get.
So I was the youngest guy on the car sales floor, and I was the only one with a degree. And you talking about a very challenging, cutthroat business. I mean, when you're in there, you're the youngest guy. People can easily take advantage of you, from the customers to your peers, because they've been doing it so long.
Right.
So I'm literally doing everything I can to learn on the run. I don't have any clientele like everybody else. I'm just this
Yeah.
young kid trying to make it happen.
Yeah. And cars is like it's not like shoes. Like I sell somebody some shoes. All right, they're gonna buy another pair of shoes in like 2 or 3 months. They coming back to
Right.
you. No, a car is like they buy it, they gone. You may never,
They
maybe 5
gone.
years from now. So you gotta
Exactly.
recreate the connection every time somebody walks in the door.
Man, years from now, man, years. So the guys that have been there for years, that they have that reoccurring business. They got
Right.
that you can almost like a residual, but it's not. But they have those individuals coming in that they met years ago. Me, I'm fresh on the scene.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm young, I'm competitive, I'm high energy. I'm like, I don't care who's been here.
Right.
I'm coming for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I really started doing well, but it was just really like I wasn't financially, I wasn't getting nowhere. The work structure was different, was very intense, because days that I was off, I would go in to make sales, and it was just a lot of inconsistencies that
Right.
I didn't feel
Right.
like I could grow long term, and I didn't feel like I was using my degree.
Yeah.
So we're gonna fast forward. I did that for a year, and then Enterprise Rental Car comes on. So if you guys don't know, Enterprise Rental Car is huge on hiring recent college graduates. They are huge on hiring recent college graduates for a reason.
For a reason.
For a reason. And one of those reasons is the time commitment that you're gonna put in some time with this company. Now you can definitely move up in ranks, but you're gonna put in a lot of time. It's both mental and physical for the sense that you're moving around. The customers are coming to you, and it's a fast-paced environment. They call it it's chaotic, but it's like structured chaos, if
Right.
that makes any sense. Which, if you think about it,
I
structure and
mean,
chaos.
football is organized chaos, bro.
Yeah, organized chaos, exactly.
Yeah.
Organized chaos. So, man, I'm in enterprise, and they love athletes as well. Like if you probably seen enterprise commercials, they always talk about athletes. They always talk
Yeah.
about, you see commercial football, soccer, whatever. But they love athletes because we're competitive. We're gonna grind. You put a goal in front of us. I need you to get X, Y, Z. We're gonna be like, okay, how quick do I need to get there?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
exactly.
When do
Like
you need it by?
when do you need it? When do you need it by? And who's doing it? So I can see what they're doing, so I can get
Yeah.
there. That's what they like. So I'm in enterprise, and bro, I was with the company, just to fast forward through this, for 8 years, and this is where football and my determination really kicked in. So enterprise, their turnover, they have a pretty high turnover rate because people are in and out, in and out. They start there, they'll be there for like 1 or 2 years, and then they'll get out to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Me, I stuck it out for 8 years. I stuck it out because I felt like if I keep grinding, I'm gonna get to that high position where I'm making a lot of money, whether it's 6 figures or what. I stuck it out with enterprise for 8 years. I was promoted 8 times,
In 8 years.
bro. 8 times. Matter of fact, I was promoted. I was promoted 10 times in 8 years. To be honest with you,
That's
10 times. 10 times.
All because they
Eight
saw how disciplined you was. They
in
saw
my
the
determined.
saw
Exactly. They saw
determination.
the determination, the commitment. They saw that. They actually, at some point, they kicked in like, this guy he's with us for the long haul, and it was so easy for them to give me the promotions, just based off of honestly the hard work that I was putting in.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can have someone, and you heard this saying before, hard work beats talent.
Yes. When
Talent
talent
doesn't
don't
work.
work. Yep.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I was killed. Like it's I already had the hard work, but as time went, the talent, I started getting, it was easy, it started becoming easy. So I really bust my tail to get through enterprise. I went all the way up to recruiting for the city of Atlanta. So I was management. I managed a couple locations, private airports. I worked at multiple airports, and then I ended up being the recruiter for the city of Atlanta, one of the largest, you can say, groups for enterprise. And literally, man, at this point, I'm recruiting. I'm talking to athletes at University of Georgia, Georgia State. I'm going to recruit them to help them start a career, and that was like an awesome feeling because I'm talking to football players, I'm talking to basketball players, both females and males. I'm literally giving them my story that I'm telling you right now, and how you can progress, whether it's in enterprise or any other company or career. Use your competitive, your thinking, use your hard work, your discipline, all those soft skills that you use, because you do learn soft skills when you play in sports that people don't realize. You learn those soft skills, apply them to your career outside of sports. So,
And that's what I feel like when I came out of college, and of course I got a chance to go to the NFL and CFL, but
right,
I did an interview before because I didn't know I was gonna get a shot in the NFL. I did an
right,
interview, and they tell you that you're an athlete. Everybody wants an athlete. That's all
mm-hmm.
I knew though. I didn't know
Yeah,
why. So I went
yeah,
into the interview, and the lady, she said, your resume looks good. So what do you do? I'm like, I play football.
yeah.
I thought that was supposed to be granted.
You a football
Yeah.
player? You hired? We love football players.
But fast forwarding, let's say 6 years, when I got let go in Toronto, I had to go to Virginia, and I started applying for jobs. And the first interview I went into, I had started thinking a little bit differently about everything that I experienced. I mean, when everything's taken away from you, you start to think a little bit more. So
yeah, man.
I had realized how many soft skills, the things that can really help a business, the real things that can really help me pass football. And I went in, I was able to articulate that. And that's when I got the realization that we don't know what we're actually learning while we're playing. We don't realize that determination really means something, that
absolutely
studying the playbook means something. Going to the gym twice means something. Like the team went, and I went after the team went again because it means something. But you have to be able to articulate that when you sit down in front of somebody. And that's what I really want young athletes coming out of college. I hope you, man, chase your dream, go get it. But as soon as that day is done where you can't play anymore, you're not allowed to play anymore, realize everything that it took for you to even get to that point. Realize that those skills are going to set you up for the next 60 years of your life. Don't just say, I was a college athlete, I was a high school athlete. What does that mean?
No. Yeah, you have to make it relatable. You have to make it relatable, and those are transferable skills. Transfer those skills that you actually produced and worked on in your sport, transfer them over to your career. So when I was a recruiter for Enterprise, I will talk about that all the time. I was like, make it relatable, make me see how or what you did when you was in the film room, or how you led your team. Tell me how that's going to relate to leading
stepping
a group of individuals in sales or achieving your goals within your company. So I like help me cross-reference this so I can know that you can do this.
Exactly.
And I used to have to teach guys that all the time.
Let's use this as a segue to step into the second principle we want to dive into. Perspective is everything. So the quote that it came up is, the optimist sees the donut, the pessimist sees the whole. And that was by Oscar Wilde. So we're talking about, I told you that I looked at my same football past one way when I left college, and I looked at it completely different 6 years later. Same background, but I saw opportunity there. Talk about how your perspective has changed since you left school until now, because you were that kid that was looking for somebody to tell you the things that you learn, that the things that you experience, how they are valued. But now you're the guy that can tell. And how does that show up in life now?
Right. So I remember what they were saying there within the book. So being optimistic, or just comparing the two. And I think when you talk about optimism, you're really looking. You can also say that's someone that looks at the glass half full rather than half empty.
Yep.
So you're looking like, say for instance, just a small example. If someone has $1, they're looking at how much, they're looking at that dollar like, man, this is only have $1. You give me $1, I'm looking at, shoot, I have $1. This is gonna. This is more.
I got a dollar. I got a dollar. Hey.
I got exactly. I got a little bit more than what I had yesterday.
Yeah.
So just in for example, so now I'm with IBM, right? And IBM, just to be optimistic. So it's a technology company, probably the largest, if not one, it's one of the largest, if not the largest tech company on a global level. I mean, you're talking about IBM is in just about every major company running the company. The IT infrastructure is probably centralized with IBM equipment. But I didn't know anything about tech, I didn't know anything about that. So, so let's just fast forward. So when I got released from Enterprise, some people would have looked at it like, man, I'm stuck. I've been doing something for so long. Now I don't know what to do. But me, I looked at it completely different. I was more disappointed on I put in the time and effort that it happened. But at the same time, the optimist in me was like, man, this is an opportunity for me to actually venture out and do something greater.
Right.
I have a window, I have an opportunity. I didn't quit, first of all. So I never quit, you know what I'm saying? So I can stay on that path like I never quit, or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I have an opportunity, and I look at it as everything happens for a reason. God put me in this situation to do something bigger and greater. First thing he did, I took my son out to the field just to get some fresh air. This is during COVID. I'm letting him play around. I see kids out there practicing, training, and that's something that just resonated with me. Man, look at these kids having fun. Look at I would love to just be able to influence these kids both on and off the field. I met this guy walking on the field. Next thing you know, I found out he's the director for the entire program. He's like, look, he did, and I'm like, what? I want to get involved in this. Bam. Next thing you know, come on, man, I'm coaching defense for 6th graders.
Man.
That so I'm like, man, so that's an opportunity that came from like something that you would consider to be
Perceived
negative.
negative. Yep.
Exactly, but that's an opportunity, something for something I love and do, and I don't even get paid for that, but I just love it. What it does for my soul, what it does for my mental, is it's just it's no price tag on that. It's
Yeah.
priceless, you know. So I'm able to do that. Not only that, I get an opportunity to work for this. I get a friend of mine that reaches out to me like, "Hey, man, IBM might have some opportunities. Are you interested?" IBM, wow, this is another large global company that
Yeah.
that would look one fantastic on my resume, but this is an opportunity for me to learn another industry.
There you go.
So I've been retail and cars, you know. Now I'm going to tech and sales, and technology is a tremendous industry that's going to be around forever.
Forever.
So this is a huge another opportunity for me that I would not have gotten or received if all of those things would never happen in the past. Which again, like you were saying, uh, a minor setback for a major comeback,
Right.
and
Yep.
that's exactly
Major.
that's a major comeback, man. So not only do I do that, and then let's just talk about the last thing. So I'm let go from a company again. I'm looking at this is a time for me to really see what else I want to do.
Yeah.
Because again, when you're in enterprise, I spend so much time, sometimes working 7 days a week. I would go to work at I would get up at 5 in the morning, get back home at 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Every
You
day.
know,
That's
every
wild.
Monday
Yeah.
through Friday, bro. Monday through Friday. I'm tired. You know, I got a son, brand new son, Dylan by the name. He's 2 now, but he was just 1. My wife, I'm barely spending time with him, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the time I spent. So after I got let go from Enterprise, I actually had the opportunity, one, to spend more time with my son as he's growing up, which was fantastic. But then I also get to create my own business, which is
Yeah.
Case Athletics, you know, which I don't think I would have had the time to do that. Or I would have had
Working
the
with.
time, right, or exactly working with the kids, not, let alone just creating the foundation for the business.
Right.
I didn't have, you know, because I was tired. I had to raise my son, and then I'm married. Got to make sure my wife is good. She has time. So all these great things happen from something that some people look at as a
As a
negative.
negative. That
You know,
that
as a negative.
that perspective, man.
The
Being able
perspective,
being able to see
yeah,
that donut, man. I think about like I work in
that donut.
construction now. I work in construction now, and we just built a uh let's say $40 million school and
I saw that. I
YMCA.
saw that. I saw that. That's awesome.
But when I first stepped on that site, it looked like it was an old school that had broken windows. It was a dump. It was trash. The concrete was broken up. It was weeds
Mhm.
and tire. I mean, there was 2,000 tires on that site just randomly buried. But
Wow.
somebody had the vision to not look at
Hmm.
that property as a dump and to look at it as an opportunity to revitalize a community, because you know communities stem from what the schools are. So
Yeah.
somebody had the mindset to be like, all right, we can change the community or start to change the community by building a school in this seemingly dumped
Right.
property. Tore down the existing school, cleared out the land, gave us a clean footprint, dug deep and put the foundations in and built a phenomenal facility. But it takes a
Wow.
different perspective to see
Yeah.
the opportunity, to see that donut on that
Yep.
land. Because somebody could walk by, and I bet you millions of people have walked by or drove by like, that's terrible. That's
Right.
used to be a
Absolutely.
school. But
Absolutely. And
to
that
have the perspective to see opportunity, it's masterful in our lives. And I feel like
absolutely.
that's exactly what you did when you got let go from something that you had put thousands and thousands of hours in, years of your
Hmm.
life into, and it was
Yeah.
taken away, it was gone.
Yep.
By no fault of your own. It wasn't like you were doing a good job, a bad job.
Exactly.
COVID
Exactly.
hit, they had the downsides. It is what it is.
It is
But
what it is, man.
from that situation, just stepping on the field with your son, you were able to see opportunity.
Exactly.
You were able to see opportunity when it came to the tech company, a global tech company being in
Hmm.
your midst. Let me go get that. You were
Yep.
able to see opportunity with spending time with your wife more, spending time with your son more. Like
Yep.
you said it,
Yeah.
a key. Like you could have taken that as a pure negative and been down in the
Absolutely.
dumps.
Yep.
You rose from what could be considered tragedy, bro. That's
Exactly.
phenomenal, man.
Exactly, man.
Phenomenal.
So,
So
yep.
you
So,
you also said something that's going to transition us into the next topic. It's like you leading me down
Okay.
this line.
Yeah, man. That's how we do, man. That's how brothers do, man.
Man, the fact that when you were let go, you didn't have the time constraint that enterprise imposed on you. So
Mm-hmm.
they talk about avoid energy robbers, and
Mm-hmm.
energy is how we progress in this life, putting our
Right.
energy out, putting our time out. And it
Mm-hmm.
sounded like enterprise could have been perceived as an energy robber for you, but
Mm-hmm.
now you've got these energy producers in your life, energy savers in your life. Like
Yeah.
people look at it as like an energy robber, somebody getting on your nerves, but energy robbers are people. Energy robbers
Mm-hmm.
are food. Energy robbers
Mm-hmm.
are these habits that we're talking about improving upon.
Right.
Energy robbers can be work.
Right.
So what in your life now is an energy producer for you that kind of gives you the energy to continue to move forward? I know you mentioned the kids, but like what
Yeah.
all has changed from the seemingly energy robbing enterprise? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking down on enterprise, guys,
Right. Right. Right.
but
Right.
just that was the lifestyle at that time. What
Yeah.
now is giving you energy, giving you life?
Man. So it's so many different things. So now, of course, I was big with working out then too. So when I was with Enterprise, I would work out after. I would work out after work. So let's say I get off at 6:37 or whatever. I work out, and then it's 8:30. I'm just now leaving to go home from the gym. You know,
Man,
so
that's a long
man,
day.
it's like and I love to work out. I take when I was a previous athlete, so that's just ingrained in me to work out,
Right,
lift,
right.
run, do something physical, and it's great for your health. So now, with me being with the company I was now, I do have a little bit more flexibility. I just work out in the mornings, so I can work out in the mornings about like every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to like 7:30, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm doing sales. A lot of my sales is over the computer and calls and things
Phone
of that
calls.
nature. Yeah, so I have that flexibility to do that. Not alone, I work from home now. So because I'm working from home, that time that those when you live in Atlanta, man, you're gonna be driving at least
Yeah.
an hour,
Everything closest 20
man.
minutes. Closest 20 minutes.
Exactly, man. So when I was working with Enterprise, my commute, I would be in the car for probably like 4 hours,
Yeah.
just going and coming. 4 hours in a day, I'm in the car. You know
That's
what I'm
wild,
saying?
man.
That's time I can be doing so many other things,
Right.
because I'm living in Austell, working in Dunwoody. At one point, I was living in Austell, working in Alpharetta, which is even further.
Way. It's like
You
going to
know what I'm saying,
That's like going to South Carolina.
bro?
From
Exactly. So
Austell.
now, yeah. So now, look, I got time. I can actually spend time with my son after work for however long, and then I also have time days while I'm coaching after work, so I can work, spend time with my son, and go coach at
And
six
go
thirty or
coach.
7. I'm able to do all these things that give me that are giving me energy, like you said.
Right.
Like coaching and spending time with my son, that doesn't feel like work. That actually motivates me for the next day. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Working out every day, Monday through Friday, or Monday or whatever, 4 or 5 days, just being able to do that, knowing that I'm gonna have the time and still
Yeah.
be able to work. That makes me feel complete. It makes me feel whole. It makes me feel like I can do everything I need to do and not risk missing anything.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Or your family
So
missing stuff from you, missing time
exactly,
and
man,
energy from
missing
you.
time. Exactly, and I'm doing all these things. I'm talking about my son, but my wife needs time too.
Right.
She needs time from me. She got her own career and things. She needs time to kind of vent or just relax. And if I'm tired all the time, I can't give her that attention that she needs, or just that open ear, or
Yeah.
or just the time that I'm with my son and she just needs to get out a little bit with her girls or whatever like that, and
Yeah.
instead of me being like, man, I'm tired, I don't know if I go,
Yeah.
it just makes it all whole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I hear it.
that's the opposite of an energy robber, I guess, an energy gainer, I guess you can say,
Yeah.
for lack of better terms. That is definitely, after everything happened, that I'm definitely getting a lot of energy gainers, man. So
I say,
That's about that. Yeah.
It all came from what seemingly perspective wise could have been a failure, and
Yep.
it's able to sustain because you have that self discipline, that determination.
That's
Because
it, man.
people look at like working out as like you getting tired. Yeah, physically you get tired, but you're building that discipline that keeps giving you that flexibility in life.
Yep.
Discipline is what is guiding you to this point. Discipline is what is going to carry you forward. Discipline is what's going to help your family continue to flourish. And
Exactly, man.
it's little things, even if it's just waking up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. Being disciplined sets a very good line for your life. Not
Exactly.
just to say I went to the gym, or not just to build muscle. It's a whole lot that it affects down the line.
Way more, man. Way more. And it's crazy because when I started going back to the gym, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go early in the morning, especially with COVID and everything. It was just a little bit more. There's less people in the gym. You get it out the way. It's so many benefits working out in the morning. For those of you that don't know,
Get it out the
get it
way,
in,
man.
get it out the way. It just really sets the tone for the rest of your day. But like you were saying, man, just that discipline of working, getting up, not to working out the physical part, but the mental part of me getting up in the morning, starting my day. You only got so much. You have so much time in a day. You want to make use of all of it.
Yeah.
As much as you can, So instead of starting my day off at 8:30, 9 or whatever, I'm starting my day off at 5:30. So I just gave myself approximately roughly 3 more hours.
3 hours in a day. Yeah.
Another 3 hours in a day I just gave myself just by getting up and just being active and getting my mind up and just start. I would just literally gave myself 3 more hours in a day. And then what happens is the days that I don't work out, my body is so accustomed to getting up in the morning, I can do something else, whether it's reading or taking care of something around the house. I don't, I literally instilled in my mind that I have an additional few more
3 hours.
hours in the morning.
Additional
Exactly.
21 hours a week. That's almost a whole extra day in a
Exactly.
week.
Exactly. I done gave myself. So, once you start doing that, you're gonna see that you're gonna start making more use of your time, which
Right.
is so beneficial, man.
Man, and I'm gonna continue with this trend that you set the tone for this conversation, because you
Let's
said
go.
it gives you the opportunity to read in the morning. In this
Yeah.
book, one of the concepts, one of the lessons says, read for half an hour every day.
Yep.
And the quote that follows is, the man that doesn't read has no advantage over the man that can't read. And that was by Mark Twain. And that's, to me, like, if you looked at somebody who was considered illiterate and couldn't read, you would think that there was a lack of knowledge. But what's the difference between somebody that can't read and somebody that doesn't read? Because all the knowledge and experience that people have gained over time, they put in books. And that's really the purpose of the Huddle altogether. It's to push people to look into the information of the world. I mean, it's people from every nation, every country. This guy, Mark Recloud, is from Europe.
Yeah.
Like, why would I ever have connection? But because he put his information in a book, all the lessons that he's experienced, the lessons that he researched in a book, we're able to grasp and learn and to refortify ourselves just through reading. So one, were you a reader when you were younger? And then two, has reading illuminated, because to me, knowledge illuminates the world. It helps that perspective of ours. So being not reading and not knowledgeable kind of leaves you in the dark, but reading illuminates the world. To me, you get to see it from different perspectives, see it from different angles, and you can really see the details. Just like if I shine a light on my face on a camera, I can see myself a lot better than if it was dark in here. So
right.
in your life, were you a reader growing up? And then two, do you see how do you see the value of reading as an adult?
Right. All right. So great question. So to answer your first question, was I a reader growing up? No. I despise reading.
I'm in the club, bro. I hated it.
Dude, the thing is, but look, it's crazy because I could read well. I remember when I was in like middle school and the teacher, they'd be like, oh, they'll pick on different people to read certain passages out of the book. And when I was reading, she was like, oh, you can read really well. But I hated reading, bro. I hated reading like long, drawn out books. That was not me. Like it was daunting because I don't like first of all, my attention span is like man, if you don't catch my attention within the first few minutes, I'm
Yeah,
already drifting
I'm
off to
out.
I'm thinking of something else, you
Yeah,
know? And that's mainly it, man. I'm more of a visual learner. I'm hands-on, you know. So if you was to say, hey, teach yourself, read through that whole book and teach yourself, I'm gonna have to read the book like 2, 3 times just to
yeah.
grasp it. You know, it's just daunting to me.
You're not the only one,
So
man.
as I get older, I understand everyone's like, hey, read more, read more. So as you get older and mature and get into your careers and you want to just be a better person. So you will hear more individuals, more people. They will say, read.
Right,
There's
right.
knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power. There's a lot of knowledge in books, reading different authors and things of that nature. But me, I one, as I'm going through my career, especially when I became a father, and I just want to be a better father, I want to be a better husband, and then also something else that me that motivated me to read more was just trying to be connected more spiritually, with God, just as my foundation and head of my life and my family.
Yeah,
I have to read the Bible, I have to read small verses and internalize them and see what they meant and how I could apply them to life. And I really think that's kind of really how I started to read more. But then when it comes to the books, again, I don't like to just sit down and read a book because I feel like I could be doing something else. But one thing I do now, and I don't know if this is considered reading or not, but the audio, listening,
yes,
listening to the books.
yes.
That's how I get the information. Because me sitting down there looking at these pages and I see all these words, it
Man,
just I don't know. It
hey,
just doesn't capture me like that.
that word reading has evolved.
Right, right. So hey, look, and I was talking to you about it when we first
Yeah,
started talking. I was like, man, how you get through these books? He was like, look, bro,
man.
this is what we do.
I listen to these books.
Right. So and multiple people told me that. It's like, man, when you drive and just instead of listening to music, listen to an
Listen to
audio
books.
book.
Yeah,
And I found that that's better for me. And everybody's different. Some people like
yeah,
to have the actual book in their hand. They like to take the notes, highlight all that stuff. Me, I just get more out of about listening. And
yeah.
I do feel like you read it, like knowledge is power. You learn more things, or you're gonna learn things that can be applicable in your daily life. Some things will be applicable, some things won't, but
Right.
still, just knowing them, and just being able to have a conversation about them, like me and you are having today, I think that's very valuable. So that I was not a reader, and I do believe that
There
reading
is
is
value.
definitely there's value. I do feel like there's value in reading.
Yeah. I don't know how to make a 12 to 16 to 18-year-old want to read it. It's not their thing. But
Right, man.
I do want them to know that at some point, and I love the Audible books. I love Audible as a platform. At some
Yeah.
point, you're gonna have to figure out the way that you can get the information,
Yep.
because information gives you opportunities. It gives you, like I
Hmm.
said, it illuminates the world. It's another concept that I'm gonna jump to. It says, what's the what's the price you pay for not changing? So information allows you to change, and
Hmm.
the world is always moving. Yeah, it's revolving, but like everything, it's moving pieces all over the place. With the
Hmm.
knowledge that you can gain in reading, in books, in gaining, and just gaining knowledge,
Right.
it gives you the opportunity to react and put yourself in in great positions. Like, you think
Right.
about the stock market. Like, if
Hmm.
I knew about the stock market when, let's just pick a huge Amazon, when Amazon was small, and I knew about the stock market, I had no clue about the stock market, and I don't
Right.
know if my parents did. But if I
Right.
knew about it, I would have the opportunity to invest in a company like Amazon, and I would not
Right.
be working right now.
All right. Or at least or at least make an educated decision on it.
Right. But when you don't have the knowledge, you don't have
Hmm.
a shot. It's just
Yeah.
like the person that can't read. You don't
Yep.
you don't have the opportunity to make a decision. You're letting
Right.
the world impose itself on you instead of you
Yep.
imposing yourself on the world. Um,
Exactly.
so then,
Exactly.
jumping into that principle,
Hmm.
the quote that I found was, the price of doing the same old thing uh, is far higher than the price of change. So, and that was by Bill Clinton. So the way I took that is, um, just like I was talking about how the world is moving, you're
Mm-hmm.
missing opportunities to grow
Mm-hmm.
by not changing. If you do the same thing, let's say I took this example.
Mm-hmm.
The caveman used to walk everywhere, right?
Right.
But then there came this thing called the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But if I never change to figure out how to utilize the wheel, I'm walking
Mm-hmm.
forever. It's going to
Yep.
take me
It's
a
still
lot
working.
longer to do anything and everything when
Mm-hmm.
the world over here is driving around in cars,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
riding trains across the country, but I'm
Right.
still walking. And I
Right.
lose so much time. I lose so much life moving
Mm-hmm.
in a way that is less educated, less knowledgeable, honestly. So
Right.
my question to you is, what areas have you seen yourself, I'm gonna say, lose because
Mm-hmm.
of your lack of changing or knowledge?
My lack of changing or knowledge, some of the things that I've lost in, or so, okay. Some lack of changing.
And look,
That's
if you change all the time, let us know, because I need to learn how.
right. Well, you know what? So let's do this. So okay. So I'm gonna just so marriage. You know what I'm saying?
I
Being a
knew
married
that
man.
was coming.
Being a married man, man. Like you have to, and you know, and guys and fellas, you know, if you're married or not, or you're about to be married, you know, it's work. You know,
Yeah.
to be a better, you can all to be a better husband, better father. You have to work on those things, and sometimes you have to change your way of thinking, or what you do. You know what I'm saying? So you can so it can be better for the whole, for your kids, your wife. I'm telling you. And one thing that helped me was, you know, just going to counseling. You know, going to marriage counseling makes you see things
Man.
differently.
Yeah.
Some of the things that you might think are right, or you, matter of fact, you might be blind to some things that you're doing and don't even know.
Exactly.
You know, so one of the things is like just taking the lead as a man in your family, right? You may think you're doing that, but and really you may not be doing it, and you don't even know it. And it's crazy because you know, if you are spiritual, you know, the male is the head of the household. You know, like if you're grounded, then if you're grounded and you want to protect your household, not just physically but spiritually, you have to do those things. You have to read. You have to make sure yourself is covered first before you can make sure your family is covered. So that, you know, me just taking the lead in things within my house, and I'm not talking about just like protecting my family physically, or making like small decisions, or you know, it was deeper than that. So you know, I found out that, you know, taking the lead, so like let's just say and like financially, you know, and nowadays ladies like to jump in and they map everything out. They got it, you know what I'm saying? And as a man, you know, or me personally, I'm just say me personally, I know my wife, she likes to plan, and she thinks in the future, she has that stuff, and I'm gonna get comfortable with that. I'll be like, hey, you like to do it. You like to do it, and I'm gonna let you do it. But she's like, look, if you I do it, but I would rather you do it. And I had to really think about it, you know, because it came up before. And I was like, man, you know, I really just thought she enjoyed, you know, because she would bring things to my attention first. And I'm just like a laid back. I'm like, okay, let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing that, making a clear decision. Because you know, I think most males are like, all right, whatever you want to do. You know,
Hey, look, we think so high level. Is like, all right, that's not going to affect the big picture. We all right.
Right, exactly. We so high level, but in all honesty, what I found out is she wants me to take the lead and make a defined decision more on certain things. Like she, you know, and then just taking the initiative instead of waiting for something to happen, instead of having the reactive mindset. She want me to have proactive, you know. So I react, like we'll just make it happen whenever it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll fix it when it comes. If it happens, it happens. You know, if Dylan falls, he'll get back up.
He'll get back up. It'll be all right. But
let's
you
make sure he
could
don't
prevent him
fall.
from falling.
Right. So you know, I had to change my mind. I think I did more change as being a husband and a father than anything else in my life, you know, like just changing my attitude on being a more proactive individual and then making more defined decisions for our family, whether it's just like what we allocate our money or the things that we do together, like trips and things of that nature, or just setting ourselves up for success in the future, just being a lot more proactive than reactive, one.
Yeah.
And then just really taking the initiative more. And then something else really small, which I think all guys are probably bad with this. Like I know I was. Like my wife would be like, "Hey, can you fix that light up there or whatever?" I'm like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Man, that light's still up there the next week. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna get to it.
2
Right,
years later.
right. And she ain't gonna say that, but then it builds up. She's like, I asked you to do that like a week ago. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, you know what, you're right. I did kind of, and it's something simple, bro. It's just something simple because we don't think it's that important. You know, we're just like, it's simple. I get it when I get it. Don't worry about it.
It's not hurting anybody right now. We'll be all right.
Hey, exactly. So I had to do the most change with that, in my life, and it has I've really seen a change in myself and just in my, you know, with my wife. She's, you know, happier with how things work, and I remember, you know, I'm like, now it's embedded in my mind. Like she might say something small, and instead of me saying, "Oh, I get to," it, I'm like, let me just go ahead and knock this out. Before it'd be like, before it'd be like I'll be like 2 or 3 weeks later.
And I cannot say I've learned that lesson fully yet, man. Because it's still, you saying that, I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be doing that. I should.
Yeah, man. Bro, I'm telling you, it's crazy, man.
I'm gonna go out there and clean these gutters today. It's raining.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like stuff like that, man. Like for fellas, it makes your life easier, man. I'm telling you, when your wife got to come back around and be like, "Did you do this?" Or, you know, "I asked you to do this." So those are some of the changes that I made, and it really helps. Like to be, you know, it really helps.
That's real, man. That is real.
I see your mind.
Yeah, man. It's grinding right now.
Boy, hey, look, the ladies might be watching this.
The direction my mind went to when we first started talking about this is really just kind of what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And you brought up counseling. Like in the past, it was taboo for men to sit down and like really talk about their feelings, what they're struggling with. You hear stereotypically that the dad would just be there. He'd go to work and just be around. He wouldn't necessarily involve himself in the emotional growth of the children, the family.
Right.
And now that we're learning more about counseling, that's something that is like the wheel. We need to jump on the train of really diving into why we feel the way we do, why we act the way we do, why we react the way we do, and how those things affect. Like if you're a head of a household, the things that you do trickle down.
Exactly,
it affects
bro.
everybody. It affects your wife. It affects your son. It affects the house as a whole.
As a whole, man. Everything.
It affects your job. It affects your family. Like people, I don't know if they realized how impactful not communicating, not opening up, not expressing themselves have been in the past. But that's something that my mind goes to. Like we gotta open up more. If we gotta talk about finances more, we gotta talk about your emotional state. I was watching the House of Athlete with Brandon Marshall in his game, Ocho, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder, and they always do a emotional business and life check. But we got to do that more often because it might be something that you're going through that I've been through that I can help you with. Or it's got to be something that you've been through that I'm going through that you can help me with. But we never know that if we don't open up the line of communication, if we don't feel vulnerable enough to talk to each other and let out some secrets that you feel like you need to hide in the closet. The only way to get them out your closet, to clean that closet up, is to open up and talk about it. I mean,
gotta open up, man.
I feel like it's easier for us to start talking with each other, but eventually that communication has to grow into our spouses as well. Being able to communicate to them, being able to communicate to your son, to our children, the next generation. So as we proceed, that's one thing that I really want us, and I can only talk as a Black man, especially Black men, we got to be able to communicate what we are feeling and going through a lot better. And counseling sitting down and having forums, those are the wheel when we've been
Right.
walking in our own self and our own feelings for so long.
Yep. Yep.
And I know
I agree with you, man.
I just went on a little
Nah,
rant.
man, that was deep. That's deep, man. That you spoke from within, man. That's real. That is
Yeah.
very real.
Yeah, that's something that's really,
That's very real, man.
as a youth, I was and this is another thing about changing. I was an introvert. I mean, there's some
Mm-hmm.
people in this world that knew me in a certain time that might not know that I could talk. But
Oh, wow.
I learned that to gain information, to create connections, to grow as a person, as a human, as a man,
Mm-hmm.
you got to say something.
You gotta open up, man.
And then eventually you got to learn how to say stuff. Because of course I could say whatever I felt like saying and it come
Right.
out any kind of way. But if my
Right.
goal is to create those connections, to grow, I gotta view how they're gonna respond. Because the goal is connection. It's not me to just overpower somebody with my words, my thoughts. It's about how can we
Right.
connect and how can we learn from each other. So that's
Right.
a piece of change that has helped me really grow that perspective of what communication does for life. Um,
Right.
so
Right. No, that's
last
what's
topic
up.
before we close, and this has been a phenomenal conversation, man. We're not gonna get all 8
Absolutely.
of them.
I know, right? It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
is live your own life. And I'm gonna say this quote by Steve Jobs, and it's long, but
Mm-hmm.
stick with me.
Yeah, let's go.
Time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be tracked by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. And most important, have courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. So just, I mean, simple question. What did that quote mean to you?
So that's a very, very powerful quote. And I think it relates to a lot of people today,
Yeah.
especially what comes to mind really is my journey when I was starting Case Athletics, right? So leading up to that, I was seeing what everybody else was doing, like all these different trainers and people, like training kids and, how big their platform was. And then just the training here in Atlanta and how many guys are going there. And I was like, I was letting that kind of dictate if I was going to even do it. I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this because, I see the success
So
where everybody else.
saturated.
Yeah, it's so saturated. So many people doing it. It's so like I'm not gonna be successful in this.
Yeah.
And that was really clouding what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I wanted to do it, I'm basing what I want to do off of everybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had to really get out of that mindset. It's like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I had to really take a step back and say, well, if and I'm just gonna throw this out there. Let's just say if one of the like a fast food chain, like a burger place, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think let's just say McDonald's came out and then there was like some other burger joint that was like, well, there's already McDonald's and Burger King. I'm not gonna open up my spot.
Right.
No, I don't think they did that. They still went forward with it and they have some type of success. Maybe it's not like McDonald's or whatever. This is a global chain that's all over the place. But at the same time, they have their own spot.
That's deep.
They're creating burgers and they're being successful. They're successful. They got burgers, fries, whatever. But they have their own success and they're probably very happy that they still went ahead and did it.
Man, that is deep, Dorsey. They got the exact same menu.
The exact same menu.
But you bring Dorsey to the table.
Exactly, man.
Completely different experience.
Exactly. So instead of me looking at everybody else, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna still do it. I want to do this. I want to do it for me. I want to do it for the guys that I know. I want to do this. I'm not gonna let other platforms that are similar to what I want to do deter me from my path,
right? Or
make me feel like I can't. So, I still went and did it. I'm not, even though some of the things are similar and it could be almost the same, that doesn't mean it's still me. I'm doing this. I'm bringing content. I'm going to what I have, myself is gonna be different from anyone else's, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I get from that, is just to not let other outside factors determine what you do, how you do it.
Yeah.
You do what you feel, you do what you want to do, and at the end of the day, you determine your success. Like it's all about you. You can't worry about the outside factors. You have to. And one of the things in the book was like, you're your own writer, you're the director, and you're the actor.
Yeah.
of your own,
of
you're
your
the
own
writer
movie.
of your own movie. You're the writer, director, your actor.
There'll never be another one like it.
There'll never be another one like it.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I remember. I was like, man, I'm the writer, I'm the director. I can do all of this stuff. This is me. And another thing was when people figure out that when individuals figure out they control their own fate, they will reach their maximum potential.
Yeah.
So instead of worrying about all the outside factors and being like you said, like an antagonist, looking at things in a negative light, once you understand that your success, it doesn't matter. You can't blame this or don't blame that or don't wait for fate. You control your own death. Once you understand that you control your fate, you're gonna reach your maximum potential, because you're gonna be like, shoot, everything I do, and it makes sense. It's on me. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Once you understand that all the outside factors do not determine what's gonna happen, you determine it, then you're gonna reach your maximum potential, whatever that is, whatever the maximum potential is, you're gonna make it. So that's kind of what I get from that, man. That's a powerful quote. I like that.
What you said hit me deep, bro, because in developing Change Your Cleats and developing the Huddle, I looked at people that have tons of experience in business, tons of experience in speaking to crowds. I'm an introvert. I'm not supposed to be a speaker, but like I got this feeling, this word inside of me that I feel like I gotta get out. But when I first thought about starting, I'm like, I'm just gonna be another piece of salt in the shaker. Like it's not right. I'm not gonna create the impact that I feel like I can create, but eventually it grew to your story is different than everybody else's story, and nobody could tell yours the way you will. And somebody, as cliche as it sounds, if it affects one person, then it's worth it. I was like, bro, it's just like your father-in-law told you the same thing you've heard over and over and over again your whole life, but from him at that time it hit you. I was like, you know what, bro, just do it. Just start writing, start putting out content, and whatever it is, because it may impact that one person. It may impact millions of people, but it will not if you do not.
That's it. And that's it. It will not if you do not. God, that's right there. Well, that's it will not if you don't. Right. Well, and cut.
But see that continued because here go my book plug. I started writing a book, and like I think when I first started writing it, Tim Tebow had come out with a book. I'm like, bro, I'm not Tim Tebow. Don't nobody know me. They're not gonna want to buy my book, hit my name on the same platform as Tim Tebow's book. Victor Cruz came out with a book. I'm like, but then again, I was like, no, none of them live my story.
Nope.
And my story may impact. Tim Tebow was a #1 recruit out of high school. Victor Cruz was a highly touted recruit. He wasn't top in the nation, but he was recruited in scholarships. He just had some issues that slowed his trajectory. They don't have the story of being a kicker, but wanting to do something else and then making a decision and the road that took me on. So I'm like, that may help the other 99%. Yeah, it's 1% that they gonna make it, bro. But what about that 99%? How do they see the world? How are they gonna push through when nobody else is supporting them? So that thought process allowed me to continue and finish the book because I went through some time. I pretty much took in spurts 8 months off, not writing, because I'm like, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna be in there.
Yeah.
But because able to adjust that perspective.
Like the outside factors, man. Outside factors.
And just live my life, write my story. It allowed me to come to the point where I'm able to publish it.
Yeah.
And look forward to putting it out soon. But what you said about that dang McDonald's, hey, hit, man.
Yeah, man. I had to think about that. I was like, man, if this burger company said I'm not gonna do it because McDonald's and Burger King out, they would have never done it.
They
would
would have
have never been
never done it.
successful.
Yep. And
Or whatever,
you think
or any
about
other
it, like,
chain.
and let's keep it burger companies. You think
Yeah.
they built this foundation? They learned how to build a building, run a business, cook food, make people happy, and then they were able to pass that to their kids, give them the option to pass it to their kids. So now you're creating a generational change.
Yeah.
Because you decided to chase after what you felt inside of you. You gave opportunities for people way outside of yourself.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
If you keep it in, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You hurting the world. You not just yourself, you hurting the world, man.
Yep. You're absolutely right, man.
This has been a phenomenal conversation, man. Reviewing 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life by Mark Reclau. What I do at the end is there anything else you'd like to tell the people before we get out of here?
Well, no, I guess the one thing that I want to leave, and I'm glad we finished on that note, is don't let your outside, one of the things, don't let outside factors influence what you want to do in life, right? Like, you got a vision and you want to do something, you feel it, and just do it, and I'm still in the process of doing the things with my business, but I'm just glad I did it. It's mine, and I can always change things, but I don't care who's doing it, it's me, and I'm glad I was able to get it out. And also, if you already read this book, and this was something I actually thought about, Wallace. So the reason why he calls it 30 days to 30 days to change your habits is because scientifically it's been proven that it takes roughly 25 to 30 days to actually change a habit. Yeah. So within this book, if you get the book, you're gonna realize you got 80-something chapters. So so it's so many different things. There's so many different things, but what he's saying is you don't have to do all of these things. Just do a few. If just pick the ones you can do, or just make it your own. But just pick up a few of these things, and if you stay consistent within 25 to 30 days, you'll find out that you didn't change the habit. Right. So that's why he names the book, because
I wish he would have said that a little bit more deliberately.
Right.
But no, that's really, and I don't want to start a whole another conversation, but you said a good point, because you put those 30 days in 3 or 4 of these habits. Now you got these in your toolbox.
That's it. That's all you need.
And now you can go into the next month or the next period and add another 3 or 4 habits in your toolbox that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. So I love that he gives 80 to 90 different topics to talk about, to pull from, but it gives you variety to adapt into the stage that you are right now.
Of your own.
This has been a phenomenal book, phenomenal conversation with a phenomenal guy. Man,
my guy.
Donald Dorsey, CEO, president of Cleats Athletics. Y'all go check it out. And this has been the Huddle. Phenomenal conversation, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on.